Welcome to Win with Richardson and Richardson. What's important now? Success in business most often comes down to hard work, not by silver bullets and quick fixes. It's knowing where to focus that hard work that's key to winning. Join sales prospecting expert and 3-time seven-figure business founder Carrie Richardson and managing partner of R&R Consulting and former owner of Doberman Technologies, Ian Richardson, for radical honesty regarding strategic planning, accountability, and execution that will get you the systematic results you're working toward. Let's get into today's episode. Thought leader and your host, Carrie Richardson.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carrie Richardson. I'm a partner at Fox & Crow Group and your host for the Win podcast. This week on Win, we're talking to people who will be exhibiting at PAX 8 Beyond 2025. Mark Sokol from CyberFox is with us today, and Mark is no stranger to the managed services event circuit.
At least in dog years, it feels like that.
Feels like it anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Carrie.
So tell us a little bit about how you prepare for an event the size of PAX 8 Beyond, and how you prepare your team to participate in an event the size of PAX 8 Beyond.
For us vendors, there's such a cost in people for sponsoring the event, for putting a booth on, for giving out swag. There's a lot of factors there, but to make the best use of our time out there, it's not just the booth. It's not just hang around the booth and handing out things. It's really all of the different opportunities to meet with MSPs, to get to know them, and ideally they get to know a little bit about us at the other events that are going around it, other activities that are going around it, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, happy hours that happen and things like that. And that's really what we're about, is we like to get out in front and get out there. There's so many vendors that we've seen in the past that put a wall between the people walking by them at a booth. That's not us. I like to have fun because in the end, this is about business and growing, in this case, your MSP. But it's about getting to know everyone at a personal level as best as we can. So we have 100,000 MSPs out there. It's hard to do that. Our goal is to get to know the MSPs and offer just an opportunity to let them know how we could potentially help them in their tech stack.
Tell us about how CyberFox helps MSPs.
The core problem that we solve today is that there's a lot of software out there. Books is like the number one that's creating this problem. Software is taking away the ability for an MSP to drop all of their customers' end users to what's called least privilege. If you have an admin account and that person is an end user, that person opens up not only your customer, but obviously the MSP is at risk, somebody taking advantage of that and then moving laterally through that organization. And the reason they can't do it a lot of times is because all this old software, including QuickBooks, and there's others out there, Bluebeam, Adobe, and Sage, it's still a thing. It's still out there. Maybe not in the US, and probably less so in North America. But yeah, it's still out there. They want to update. And the only way to update is to have this privilege access. MSP needs to take down everybody to least privilege, but they can't because it's creating a bunch of tickets behind the scenes. Help desk has to do that. And help desk goes, why are we just doing updates? That's all I feel like I'm doing all day long. We eliminate that at the point in time that, let's say Sage wants that update. The end user would click the button to go ahead and update. And behind the scenes, we've already set the rules. The MSP has set the rules. Let that process run in elevated mode, update, say, and then back down to a standard user. So basically, everybody really needs to be on there. You got cyber insurance now questionnaires that are saying, do you have everybody on least privilege? And you need to be able to answer yes. If you do and you're not, that's a whole different story. And we know insurance companies, the number one thing for them to do is not pay you. So they'd rather do that. So we help solve that problem for MSPs.
So when you're at an event like PAX 8 Beyond and you've got to share that information quickly, rapidly, what's your best approach for attracting the attention of the attendee and then delivering that message quickly, and what's the step after that?
Sure. For us, we have a very clean booth overall. We give away a lot of foxes. We have stuffed foxes. We have, I think, 3 or 4 different sizes of stuffed fox. Behind me there's our mascot.
Is it terrifying?
A little scary. Yes. And
like the big polar bear from back in the day.
And we've been through a few of these and through these foxes and costumes and everything. So what we like to do is attract attention by things. Sometimes we have games. Specifically, this event, we're actually doing something prior to the event kicking off. We're inviting MSPs to join us at a baseball game. I believe it's the Mets and Rockies. And so we try to engage pre-event just to get to know us, because outside of our software being simple and affordable ultimately, and solves a huge problem in this case, generally our partners say they actually like us. They like talking to us. They like being with us. We're fun. We're also not, in the end, yes, we want to sell software, but it's clear in our interactions that it's more than just that. We're not just actively trying to sell, because as IT people and MSPs, that's the last thing. Don't call me, I'll call you when I'm ready to buy. We know that. We inform you that we have a solution that can solve the problem, and you can then solve this problem as well. So that's what we do.
How do you begin preparing for a pre-day event like that? Do you do some outbound calling? Is it an email campaign? How many people participate in it? How many people do you bring with you?
Yeah, it can vary. We've been fortunate enough to form relationships with other vendors in the space. So we all take on the burden of trying to invite people to these events that we've done. They're pre-event. They're not intended to overstep what's happening at the Beyond event. It's a combination of our internal folks, whether it's our account management team that works with partners, because these are open to partners. It's not just a prospect type event for us. Our account management team, the sales team that happens to be calling and talking to anybody that, hey, if you're going to happen to be in Denver, you can come along with us to the ball game. And then yes, we will send out an email. Those that we've met that we know that are, in this case, have a partnership with Pax8, we'll send out an email or two, and we'll put it out on social. All of those culminate into anywhere from 25 to well over close to 150 we had on a cruise ship down in Miami last year. That's about where we're at. It takes our team here. We have 3 in our events team that really handle all the logistics of that. And then obviously the other vendors will bring their partners and prospects as well and invite them. So very successful. And that is just essentially not even selling. That's just, we're having a party basically.
So are you doing that so that you'll have more opportunities to interact with specific named partners, or are you hoping for brand new, hey, we don't know who these guys are and they don't know who we are engagement?
We're looking for all of that. The biggest way to get somebody interested in what you do is to hear from a peer. So it's open. We love our partners that come in, they say great things about us and talk about our solutions. They don't want to hear me or anybody really on our team talk about our solutions. They want to hear how we solve the problem for another MSP. It doesn't matter. If we have nothing more to sell that MSP, they're a partner for the long term. That's the way we look at it. And we include them as well.
So you've been doing this a long time.
Yes.
What's the best engagement you were ever able to create at an event, either with swag or an event? Like, what's the best thing you've ever done, and what's something that you did that you thought was going to be great but fell flat?
Ooh, that's a good one. We actually have some good stories. So we're not doing it here at Beyond, but some of the larger events that we've been to, we didn't invent this, but we started it at times. We've had a whole bunch of different characters, whether there's a Star Wars theme or a Guardians of the Galaxy, and we have the different characters you can take photos with. You go locally and they have all these people that will dress up, and they're really interesting, especially in Orlando. They're not allowed to break character. So you can't even talk to them about, you go to school, you're in college here, they're literally playing the character. So it's really interesting. But last year at an event, we went with a Transformer theme. I believe Transformer was having a movie out. That's probably why we picked it. The best part about ours was you'd have to go through, it's like an Etsy, and you buy these costumes. So we had somebody, one of our colleagues, up on the costume. Between the time of ordering it, having it shipped here, having him try it on, having him get it on there. Basically, he took 5 steps, fell down, and the whole thing fell apart last year. And the only thing I asked was, did we get that on video? Didn't even ask if he was okay. So that, to some extent, was a bust. In the end, it's about us trying to get attention. We will have some form of the mascot at times. We'll bring just sometimes the decapitated head of our fox, and partners will go ahead and put that on thing. Yeah, we're all about that. But yeah, just trying to buy a transformer from Turkey a month prior to the event. That's what I recommend.
I think that's good advice in any situation, actually. I've ended up with some Halloween costumes that were questionable. So yeah. Order your costumes well in advance, have them fitted.
You got it. Yeah.
What do you think has driven the most traffic to your booth? What things would you absolutely suggest trying again?
Yeah, it's really the best, and you'll appreciate this as SPs will as well. In the end, none of us have unlimited funds, and there's maybe some out there that seem to have unlimited funds, but we don't. And we felt that partnering with other MSP vendors, we've done different things where, I don't know, a passport to a vacation and go around to these 5 vendor booths and things like that. So, including our pre-event parties. So those combination of things are a little bit more bootstrap, I would consider, but they're more effective than anything we've ever done by finding like-minded vendors that we think that their products are good in line with ours, their culture is in line with ours, and being respectful as walking around and getting those stamps as an MSP and then winning those. So those have definitely made a big impact. We think also that when we are there, if we have opportunities to do breakout sessions, those are great, but 99% of the time we do a panel with other MSPs to talk about cybersecurity, how they're selling cybersecurity, or we will have our in-house expert here, Spencer, that's a part of that, does a lot of those as well. We have others on the team that will speak on our behalf. Really just trying to provide information to inform the MSP about opportunities for them and how to position cybersecurity within their services.
And so if you're going to do a multi-vendor promotion like that, who puts together the bingo card or the passport? Who takes responsibility for that?
In our case, because we've been the initial driver of a lot of that, it ends up falling on our team to take care of a lot of that. We do such a great job overall at the events we do. We also bring people into Tampa. Every quarter, we bring a group and educate them and partner with our vendors. It's a big burden on our team, but the number one thing that an events person has to have is organization. Maybe tenacity, there's probably other things, a little creativity, but in the end, it's about being organized. Even if it's a little bit of mayhem, it's like that duck on the pond. You see that duck and little feet are going 20 miles a minute. And that's what you want to see. You want to see that duck on the pond, that's cool, and everything's fine. And behind the scenes, a lot of work, a lot of activity to get things done. Things go wrong and no one knows because it's all been recovered. And so that's the most important thing. So yeah, we like to, especially if it's our idea and we're coming to other vendors, we work together and just end-to-end take care of all of that.
So before PAX 8, you're hosting a group of MSPs at a baseball game. Once you arrive on the floor, how do you organize a lead collection at your booth? What happens after somebody expresses interest? Do you round robin those opportunities to your team? How do you fairly distribute the leads that you collect at an event?
Oh, great question. In some ways, it may not be fair. So how we're set up is by territory. We have 6 owners, which includes the world, not just the US and Canada. And essentially, a large event like this kind of spread. There's so many partners that PAX 8 has that come into Denver at that time. It generally tends to work itself out evenly in that case. Some of the smaller events we may do local or something, then it's almost not fair because, it's just somebody driving over. But in the case of the Beyond event, we find it's been a good, including international at times, it's a good spread, a good mix of people that nobody on the team in any territory feels like they've been left out.
Obviously, foxes are a good swag item, but what else have you seen that people really went nuts for at an event? Yeah,
we've tried every variation of WTF with Fox, that kind of stuff. any version you can use Fox in place of another word. We love giving out shirts. And so we'll have every size from small to very large. We try to make sure that we have those. The interesting thing about what we've learned about shirts is that it has to actually feel soft. And we've had some burlap sack shirts that were just awful, and they would shrink the first time, and now they're like a halter top. So we learned that their material, it's worth spending a little bit extra money for it because people tend to wear it. One part of our solution is blocking living off the land attacks. It's a little clever, pithy, block you, block him, block her, right? So we try to be clever. Last year, we came out with a version of a sticker. I'm not a sticker person. I don't put any sticker. I don't like them. I don't want them on anything of mine. But apparently a lot of people do. So we have a version of the sticker with our logo, but we had a really clever looking wrapper Fox and last year. And that was a big hit. We don't have them anymore. Those went pretty fast. So I'm sure if we were going around, even at Beyond, they're going to have that sticker on the back of their computer. The other thing we're doing just from a promotional aspect is we're actually at Beyond this year, we're on the key card. We actually sponsored the key card.
Oh, nice.
So everybody there is going to see our name, right? With a clever little thing. I won't give that away, but it's a clever little quirky thing. I've been saying this since I've been at CyberFox here 3 years. Ultimately, cybersecurity, we are serious about cybersecurity, but it doesn't mean that we have to be just serious people. It doesn't have to be one or the other. So we like to be cute. We like to try to funny. We like to get somebody's attention there. And again, that goes to us trying to be more than just a software vendor, but a partner, maybe at times a friend, but at least a business friendly. And so that's our thing.
All right. Well, thanks, Mark. It was great to catch up with you. It'll be great to see you at PAX8 Beyond this year. It's been a few years since we got to hang out, so I'll look forward to seeing what you got there this year. No hints on the key cards.
You'll find out when you check in. All right.
Thanks very much, and we will see you in June at PAX8 Beyond.
Thanks, Gary.
You've been listening to Win with Richardson and Richardson. What's important now? We're so glad you've joined us and know you're one step closer to winning big in your business too. We'd love to connect with you outside of the show. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to connect@rnr.consulting. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast so you'll easily know when new episodes are available. Until next time, you can win, and we're here to help.